Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, listen up closely for a who the f*** said that.
Especially the boys and girls.
Especially. Nothing is true. Everything is permitted. Who the f*** said that?
Oh, I know.
Lots of people.
Lots of people?
Yes.
Rem's picked this one up, hasn't she?
Yeah. Yeah, she loves this game.
Yes, she does. I saw that and I'm like, if she doesn't get it, I'm going to laugh.
You're fired!
Do you want the original quote, like the person who said it originally, or are you just saying generally you'll accept any answer? Because like I said, there's a few people that said it.
I'll accept any of them, really.
Yeah,
Because
sure.
I've only got the one that I had in front of me.
Well, we'll be able to tell you whether that's the first person or not.
Ah, well, we'll soon find out. Listen to the end of the show to find out who the f*** said that. And now, on to the show. Welcome to episode 234 of the Aussie Gamers Express video game podcast. Today is Thursday, the 11th of October, 2018. I'm your host, Snoogs, and here with me are my brilliant co-hosts, Remutha and Grejio. How are you guys?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm well.
Good. Welcome back, Rem, after your cough, sick last week.
Yeah, and slightly less of that this week, thank goodness.
That's good. I've got my scotch to keep mine away.
Excellent. Burn it out.
Before we start, here is this week's show in preview. We've got video game discussion, what's that sound, and last words. Bit of a quicker one this week, so sit in, strap down, and go nuts. So, on to video game discussion. Rem, I know you're absolutely itching to take it away this week.
Well, this is probably the most I've actually played my console in the last year. So I finally got my hands on Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and that has been taking up pretty much all my free time at the moment.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey, is it all it's cranked up to be? Is it meeting your lofty expectations so far?
I am not disappointed so far. The best way I can describe this is they've taken the basis of Origins, which is already very good, and they've Witcherized it. Yeah, so there's a few elements in this that I mean, Origins itself, I sort of looked at and went, I guess the quest line style is very Witcher. You sort of had those pick up, put down missions along the way, and you can sort of opt which ones you wanted to do, where and when, and all that sort of stuff. This has gone another level with that. They've brought in timed events, things that you have to pick up from bulletin boards and things like that. Side missions that you can only get from NPCs, and if you don't get them then and there, you don't get them. It's possible to be unsuccessful at missions, much like Witcher, which is actually something I liked not being in Origins, but they've brought it into Odyssey. And there's heaps of changes that they've brought with it, and I think I'm going to say probably 90%. I think it's all for the better.
Oh, interesting.
So, I mean, I have a list here of things that I've just noticed, and I'm only, a small amount through the game, but already there's like a whole list. So I'll scan through because I don't want to, go too far into it.
Yeah, well, let us know what you got, because it's Assassin's Creed's one of those. I don't understand why. I just can't get into it. I've tried to get into most of them. I love the actual story behind it with the Masons and all that sort of part of history is something that I absolutely love, and really am quite in depth with what I know about it because of just my love for it. So, to play a game that's based around it, I thought I'd get right into it. But I've got Origins, and I reckon I've played about an hour and a half. It just, I don't know why. I just can't quite grab me. I've got it sitting there digitally, so I'm going to keep belting my way through it. But yeah, it's a shame.
Yeah, I think that is one downside of the newer games. I mean, for me personally, the older series of Assassin's Creed games pulled you into the storyline really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Origins and Odyssey, they have a bit of a slow grind at the start, and it takes some time to really get into it. But once you do, it's very rich, and there's a lot into it that keeps you going back. Like, yeah, at first you might find it a bit of effort, but after a while you'll find that you just can't stop going back to it and picking up the controller and wanting to waste hour after hour chasing side quests and collectibles. And I mean, this is the one game where I am very much not like Lucas, because in most other games I'll drive through the storyline. I just want to do storyline. With this, I get lost in side missions because something will happen, something will grab my attention, there'll be a sync point, there'll be something, and I just get completely sidetracked, and about 5 hours later I eventually go, oh, that's right, I was going to do that mission, and then I get sidetracked again. So it's
much like me and SpiderMan. Yes.
Yeah, very, very much like that. Yeah, so it does take a little bit to get into, but it's worth the investment, I think. I sort of felt that way with Witcher 3. I didn't initially fall in love with it. I didn't feel straight away that I was invested, but once I spent some time with the game, I just wanted to play it all the way through, and I wanted to find everything that was in it. So if you think of it sort of that way, it's worth the investment if you've got the time to do it.
Beautiful. So what's on your list? What's some of your key features that you want to point out?
I mentioned the missions like times events, and you pick up missions from bulletin boards now.
Mm-hmm.
They've still got sync points in the game, but they've reduced the amount, I think. There's a lot of areas, but there's only sort of 1 or 2 sync points for each area. So you're not constantly having to climb up things everywhere. They've really reduced it, and while it's in the game and it does play a part, it's not as heavily present as it used to be in the original series. You can choose 2 ways of playing. When we sort of talked about this a while back, about the exploration modes choices. So one will sort of reveal things on the map to you, and the other one gives you clues or question marks on the map that only reveal when you get close to them. And you can sort of choose which way you want to go, and I've gone with the clues. I want to really explore the map and then play it the way they've intended. So that's really good. One thing that I thought was really clever, so you've got hunting back in it. It's sort of, I've really noticed in this, they've taken the basis of Origins, but they've sort of nitpicked from other Assassin's Creed games. So in this particular part of the hunting, it sort of reminds me of Assassin's Creed 3, where they sort of started the hunting, but it's far more refined. They've also, you now can take down, say, like a goat or some sort of small animal, and if you leave the carcass there, the predatory animals like lions or wolves or whatever it might be will actually come over to investigate and have a gnaw on the carcass, and in that time you can take them out as well. So you can use it like a lure if you need to get a different kind of animal.
Nice and baity, yeah.
Yeah, and that can be a really good thing. Like if you're hunting that animal, it can also be a really not helpful thing if that animal is really high level and you're trying to do something else. So, there's that. Also, if you don't loot the carcass first, I think you can't if the other animal gets there before you can. I think by them actually chomping into the carcass, you actually lose the loot out of it, but I have to confirm that. As I'm, I always loot straight away. What else did I have on here? I have your assassinations. So they're very specific in the way that they work levels in this one. There are mercenaries that will hunt you down throughout the game.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of them maintaining a level and you being able to over-level them to make it easier, they actually level up with you area, and as do some of the quests. So they never allow you to sort of overpower crucial areas of the game.
So you can't do the power run. Yeah, okay.
No, that's right. So you have to meet those challenges head on at your level. It's made to be quite challenging. So there's that. As such, the assassinations, you can't insta-assassinate or insta-kill someone who is above your level. So if they're at your level or below, you can kill them one shot. But if they're above you, you can't kill them in a single shot. So that adds a bit of challenge.
Where's the realism? I'm pretty sure a knife to the heart doesn't matter how good you are. I'm pretty sure that's going to drop you.
Yeah, pretty much. The ships. So we have ships back in the game, and while there were ships in Origins, and you could command them around, this one feels a lot closer to Black Flag. You've got sailors singing shanties, sort of Grecian shanties. The boat steers and fires a lot more like it did in Black Flag.
Mm-hmm.
You can upgrade your capacity for crew. You can upgrade your hull. You can upgrade your weapons. You can upgrade everything about your ship. You have customization as well. So you can do figureheads and things like that, sails. So that feels very Black Flag to me.
Awesome.
And you can also recruit specific people to your ship. So you can go around and you can basically recruit anyone that you find, any enemy. If you use an unarmed attack and you knock them out, you can then recruit them, and they don't tend to put up a fight. You can use your eagle, which you have again in this one, to suss out which enemies have particular skill sets, and you can determine exactly which enemies you want to recruit. So they are all different. That's pretty cool. You can also even recruit some of the NPCs within the storyline. So there was one particular character that I did a storyline with, and I was able to convince them to join my crew as well, despite having been an absolute dick to them in every other way possible.
As you do.
I still talk to them around. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, which is another interesting thing of the game. You have more of an RPG dialogue style game now. So instead of just running with cutscenes throughout the game, you now have some choice in what's said, and that will impact on relationships and direction that the game goes. It can have ramifications on the relationships and the allies or enemies that you make through the game. So that's pretty cool. You've got, when you select your crews for the ship, you can select different types of crews. So you can have like your basic sailors, or you can change them out and have, what's the best way to explain this? They have like themed crews, I guess. So you can have, for example, from the start you get Capricornus sailors, or you can have assassins, or you can have your basic crew. Different sailors will actually sail a different way and attack a different way. So some of them prefer to use javelin style attacks, and some of them are better with arrows. Some of them like to ram enemies instead. So they all have slightly different ways in which they like to attack.
Yeah, so
you can sort of
customize what you prefer.
Yeah, exactly. So you have some choice in the way that it plays out, which is really quite good. You also have some choice in the dialogue choices about some of those missions that you pick up. There was one particular mission I was doing, and this lady basically said to me, look, I need a message delivered, and I need some livestock or something collected. And instead of it going, okay, these are your two objectives within the mission, I could actually choose which one I want it to do. whether I wanted to go, down the street or halfway around the world. So, obviously I chose down the street because that was faster.
Of course.
Of course. There's also, there's also love storylines in the dialogue choices now.
Yeah.
So
Next.
Again, yeah. So this is very, this is very Witcher again. This is very, I guess, Mass Effect 3 sort of thing. So depending on how you interact with particular NPCs, you might have the option for some sort of romantic relationship with them if you choose to do so. Like I said, I was a complete dick to the person that I was interacting with, so no luck. But yeah, I didn't care. Things like your supplies around the world. So in Origins, you had to shoot animals to get furs, which is fine. But then in order to get wood or metal or gold, you had to take out carts or enemies. In this one, you've got basically just two supplies. You've got your olive tree wood and your iron metal, which are openly available in the world, and you basically run past and collect. So you're constantly on the lookout.
Okay. So it sort of keeps everything flowing a bit quicker.
Yeah, it's just gone to a very basic foraging style just to allow it to be easier, I guess.
Oh, awesome.
One thing I really love about this one, you can craft arrows on the run. You don't have to go looking for a loot spot anymore.
That's good.
Yes, right? This is one of the best things for me in the game, to be honest, because it frustrated me in Origins when you'd run out of arrows and you had to find that spot where the arrows were, or you had to go to a shopkeeper or something to buy arrows. Whereas this one, now that I've discovered that you can just make them yourself, it's freaking brilliant. No more running out of arrow run, so it's great.
Yeah, well, there's been a few games which have been like that now.
Yeah.
I actually think Witcher was one of them.
Yeah, I can't remember Witcher, but I know Horizon. Yeah.
Yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
you could do it in that, and
yeah.
It ruined me for every other game, to be honest. Being able to craft the arrows on the run it was awesome in that game too.
Yeah, mid-fight, everything slows down and they're just crafting away. Yep.
Yeah, just hold on. Just need some more arrows. Just need some arrows. Yeah. Your weapons and armor can be engraved now, which increases your strength and damage, which is kind of cool. It just gives you that extra level of upgrades. So you can do upgrades on their own, but you can also engrave. So you've got two ways in which to better the armor if you like a particular set. I haven't done that too much yet because I'm quite early in the game. I'm pretty much just filing through the armor as quickly as I level up before, so I'm not too worried, but that will be really valuable when you get to some of the epic pieces of armor.
Mm-hmm.
Your mercenaries that I mentioned before. So in Origins, you had Phalakatai, who were at different levels, and as you came across them, they'd try and kill you. They had a bounty out on you, and the idea was basically to avoid them or take them out as quickly as you could. In this one, you've got the same idea. They're called mercenaries, but you have several tiers of enemies, and you've sort of got to work your way up through the list. You have your first mercenaries fairly low level, obviously, and then you're going to work up sort of every 3 to 5 levels, I think it is. You start to get a new mercenary, and they'll just be circulating around the world. So first you've got to find them in the world. You've got to identify them. They've all got unique names, battle styles, armor sets, and obviously levels. So you can sort of tailor a little bit to when you take them on, which is pretty incredible, really. And as you do that, as you beat them, you can watch your character move up through the ranks, through the tiers to the top tier.
Okay.
Which is awesome. Because you're in the middle of the Peloponnesian War, you are positioning yourself between the Spartans and the Athenians. So with your dialogue choices, with your actions, with everything that you do, you can either make allies or enemies between those two parties, or you can remain fairly neutral. At the moment, I'm fairly close to the Spartans and fighting against the Athenians, but it's sort of like...
you do know how the Spartan War turned out, right?
Oh, look, I'm not looking too much into it because I don't want to spoil the game for myself.
I don't think the Spartans got much hope.
Yeah, look, it's sort of like, it's really interesting because the game sort of almost pits you like you're a double spy sort of thing. You're in both camps for your own interests. So it's quite interesting to be able to play one party off the other.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. You have, as well as being able to loot around the world and just pick up items, you also now have the ability to steal items. So this is very Skyrim or Fallout.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So if you do that, if someone sees you, there's a negative consequence. Even civilians in the area will chase you around and try and kill you if they see you do it. You also get a wanted level, and as you increase your wanted level, it'll increase the number of mercenaries who might be hunting you at any one time. I mean, they're always sort of looking for you in the world, but they'll proactively be hunting you if you have that wanted level. So there really is a lot in the game that has a lot of consequence, which is quite interesting.
Yeah, I always liked in Fallout 3 when, you'd get a bounty on your head and you'd get the, as towards the end of the game, as I referred to them, the roving ammo cache would come looking for you. as soon as you got out of somewhere, mowed them down. Oh, thank you, I'll take this and this and this.
And they'd always fly in on helicopters, so it was so convenient.
Yeah.
You just go, thank you, Henry Eden, and keep walking.
Yep.
Oh, yes. Additional to the mercenaries, you know how you had in Black Flag, you had the legendary ships in each corner of the world, who obviously were incredibly difficult to beat, but also had a massive payout if you did. They've modified that idea, moved away from ships in this one, and they've got legendary beasts in the world. So the one I came across was a boar, and this thing's rocking up to me with like a skull where the damage and level should be. And I'm sitting there going, there's no freaking way I'm going to be able to take this thing
It's
out.
running up to you. You gonna die!
Pretty much. I'm like, yeah, that's a big pig. Gonna go that way now.
That's a lot of bacon.
I'll be back for you. Yeah, right.
I'll be seeing you in the morning.
That's more like Origins, because Origins had the elephants, the war elephants. They were the replacement for the epic ships. Yeah.
It's fairly similar to that idea. I mean, they're not cordoned off in the same way that the war elephants are. You don't have to sort of enter an arena to do it. They're just sort of in the world in an area sort of thing.
Yep.
But yeah, same sort of idea.
Watching, listening. Yeah.
Yes. Another sort of influence that I'm seeing is each of these areas has a territory, and within that territory there's a leader. So you have these leaders who control the politics and the strength of the area. And so now this is very sort of, it reminds me of Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. You know, Hayes had to sort of start breaking down the area and weakening the area to take over control.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of like that. You've got to take out the leader, you've got to take out their house, you've got to take out war chests and other items around the area. And as you do that, you gradually weaken them until you actually can kill the leader themselves. Basically, quote, freeing the area from their political control. I'm very close to doing that with my first area, so I'll be interested to see how that affects the area, like whether they become less hostile toward me once I've done that, or if there's a more dramatic change. So that's another influence coming in. The biggest change is probably in your skill tree and in your combat styles. So in this skill tree, you've got your baselines, which is like your assassination ability, your combat ability, your whistle for your horse, and all that sort of stuff is all included in that. Then you've got 3 classes above that. You've got the assassination class, the combat class, and your warrior class. And they've sort of broken up your melee, your ranged, and your general abilities into all of those classes. So now, as you level up, as you get ability points, you can unlock them as you do in any other game. But additional to your basic attacks, you've also now got, I guess, an extended menu. When you're holding down, on playing on Xbox, when you're holding down your LB button, you now come up with up to 4 options of an additional powerful attack. You have melee and you have ranged. So for melee, that's where you get your Sparta kick is one of them. Everyone's seen the Sparta kick.
As Sparta.
Exactly.
I'm just saying that when you kick someone off the ledge, it is like comically overpowered.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes,
that's how it should be. It's a Spartan kick.
I was when I heard that they're gonna have this in the game, I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool. Like, I can see how I'm just gonna run around for the fun of it, right? And along flat surfaces, it's got like he is quite clear. Your character is quite clearly above average strength because you can still kick them a good amount, right? But there seems to be at least a little bit of physics thought gone into it, where they're like, a person of this stature and size can really, even when overpowered and strong, can only kick someone a certain distance. So, it still feels realistic in a super kind of way. But the moment that these people have zero friction applied to their lateral movements, and then they're not sliding along the ground, it's like Wile E. Coyote fucking physics.
There's some epic horizontal flight going on.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like, I would have thought it should have been the same sort of lateral movement and then a good solid vertical drop. No, this is like literally, as soon as you do it, there should be like do played off because you just got a home run.
Yeah, no, it's pretty epic, but it's good, and it's worthwhile because you've got some of those really big enemies and shielded enemies, and that kick will take them down. Awesome, just completely disarms them. And if you're lucky enough to kick them off a cliff, you might even kill them in a single go. But so you've got your Spartan kick, and you've got your bull rush, and you've got a whole bunch of really powerful attacks. You've got poisoned and fire weapons. You've got your ranged attacks as well. So you've got predator arrows, they're back from Origins. You've got a devastating shot, which is by far my favorite thing to use. This is like, you can have an enemy that's 2-3 levels ahead of you. If you aim in on them, you're going to see their damage bar goes down by like the tiniest amount. But if you use this devastating shot, it says it's at 290% damage single arrow, which means that that person that you're taking a tiny chip off is now a one-hit kill, which is very handy.
Yes.
Yes.
That sounds acceptable.
Yeah. And all of those attacks, all those additional 4 melees and additional 4 ranged, they require stamina. So you've got about 4 bars of stamina at this point, and each one takes a whole bar of stamina. So you can't just consistently go spamming around with your Spartan kick, which is unfortunate, but it does make you value those moments just a little bit more when you get that additional damage and you can do a power move. So yeah, it's pretty awesome, really.
I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Yes, thoroughly enjoying it. That's just my brief overview. I don't want to go too deep into it. But yeah, it's good.
Good stuff. Well, Greg, the other big thing, I've got a bit of news for what I'm guessing you've been doing most of this week, which is Forza Horizon 4.
Yes.
Yes. So Forza Horizon 4 has seen 2 million players pick it up and have a crack around Britain in its first week.
Yes, I did see that. That's pretty awesome.
Nice.
That's a decent number, and it just shows you the reach of the Game Pass too. I think so many more people getting involved in it because of its availability.
Yeah, look, there are a lot of people, and I'm gonna call them unwise. That's gonna be the word I use. That talked a lot of smack about the game when it came out. Talked a lot about smack about it coming out on Game Pass. Said that Xbox had done fucked up this time. And there was other games that was compared to that. They just said it was a niche car game. That was, I think, the term that was getting bandied around.
A niche car game. If anything, Forza Horizon 4 is probably one of the most open and accepting car games that anyone could probably pick up and try.
Yeah.
Totally. Totally. I always worry when a developer tries to pander to too many groups at once.
Mm-hmm.
But for somehow, and I have to put my hands together to Playground Games, these guys have somehow managed to pander to a large, diverse group of car game lovers and tick a bunch of boxes for everyone that likes every element. Like, there's the drifters, there's the hardcore esports racers, there's the content creators in all their forms. They just keep adding stuff for those people every time, and somehow the balance still seems to work. I don't know how they do it, but they get a bravo from me. They're ridiculous. So, but yeah, like those people, the people that I'm labeling unwise, you'll need to
shut up.
You can if you haven't shut up now, you probably should, and pick it up and play it for Christ's sakes, and then just be okay with eating your hat. I'll gladly give you whatever sauce you like, but you're gonna be eating it. So, yeah, no.
Funnily enough,
it's good.
I haven't actually picked it up this week. Since our last show, I haven't touched it. I haven't actually played a whole lot of gaming or done a whole lot of gaming myself. It's just been one of those weeks, I think. I do have one thing. The one thing that I've been playing all this week is, of course, SpiderMan. And SpiderMan. So last week I said that I had a bit of a negative spin on certain aspects of the game, be it the story, which was probably my biggest gripe, was the timing of the story. And I don't think I'll go into any spoiler territory this week, but the story sort of plays out in 3 chapters. So, like a lot of story-based games do, you've got your build-up, your middle, and your finale. And coming towards the end of Chapter 2 and then the entirety of Chapter 3, I did not want to put it down.
Oh, nice.
In regards to timing and everything like that, I completely take back everything negative I said about it. It was building towards something, and it built, and it did it exceptionally well. So much to the point where I have finished it, and so I've finished the story. I've only got one more trophy to get for the platinum, which is just the grind to 100% everything, which I'm at about 95% now. So I've literally got an hour, and I'll have it done.
Nice.
And but when I finished the story, I can safely say that I felt content. I think I sat here with, that stupid sort of smug look that you occasionally get when you're pleased with yourself. I had no reason to be pleased with myself, but I was. I liked the way it played out. It made me feel just quite relaxed and content with, everything about the story just played out 100% how I liked it. I don't want to get into spoilers. Lucas and I have talked about doing a full spoiler cast, so anyone that's not interested in playing it can listen to that. We'll try and tee up over the next little while to get that together. But, yeah, no negativity about it. Lots of fun, lots of tweaks with different characters and whatnot. And, yeah, loved the end. Like I said, I reckon I sat here looking like a pig in shit.
Well, now I'm really, really excited to get back to it, but I've got a whole Odyssey ahead of me.
We all know you're not getting back.
Yep.
No, not for a while.
Not for a while. It'll still be there.
But I will.
It is, yeah. So it's well worth a playthrough, and once you start unlocking a few different things, and you get your skills up and all that, and you get used to it, it really starts to flow, and you really get this sense of being powerful. But one public service announcement: if you are going for the trophies, don't spend your challenge tokens.
Mm-hmm.
If you hoard your challenge tokens at the start, everything will be easier at the end. And that's just to buy your suits, because the suits at the end get quite expensive for the challenge tokens, and there's only so many there. So
what did you think of the suits? I sort of had mixed feelings about some of them.
I was peeved that the symbiote suit wasn't there. I know that's technically Venom, so it's not technically a suit, but it was a symbiote. But it still would have been cool to have that look. They had similar ones, but overall, I reckon I played 90% of the game in either the Stark suit or the Iron Spider.
Right. Yep.
That's pretty much, because I like the originals. I really like the Iron Spider suit, and it actually looks really cool when you start to get belted a bit, and it actually gets pieces, like it goes this sort of dull colour, and it looks like it's taken a beating, which is pretty cool.
Oh, nice.
Anything else, Greg?
As in news-wise?
Yeah, news-wise, you got some other stuff. You always seem to find some pretty cool news.
Oh, look, you stole one of them, actually. I actually don't have much this week. You stole one of them. I was going to report on the Forza thing, but that's all right. So, funnily enough, that's 50% of my news done. It was a pretty slow week, I'm going to be honest. But
yeah.
I've
only got one other as
pretty
well.
Cool.
Yes, go for it.
So, remember how last week, and I did mispronounce it, and Luke picked me up on it. Google has Project Stream.
Stream, yeah.
And I was right; it was 25 megabits.
Yeah, I'm still dumbfounded by that, but
anyway,
mind you,
thank you, Editing Lucas, for backing me on that one.
Yes, but Editing Lucas might have missed this other article. I did read it elsewhere that the 1080p 60 frames was running on a 300 megabit connection.
Yeah, look, we all knew that.
So minimum requirements will get you 480p.
Yeah. Hey,
but it'll run.
You can play Assassin's Creed Odyssey on it.
Yeah, it'll just be it'll on your nice big 28-inch
monitor. It'll look like
monitor.
Minecraft, but
on your nice big 28-inch monitor, it'll be the size of your mobile phone screen.
Yeah. So that actually
resolution's awesome.
That very cleanly brings me into my news.
Beautiful.
Mobile devices.
Mm-hmm.
So and I believe that the announcement of Project Stream has escalated Microsoft to come out, and Kareem Chowdhury, who's the corporate VP for cloud gaming for Microsoft, came out with an announcement this week that their Project xCloud is in the process of being put together. and public trials will be available next year. What is Project xCloud, you may wonder? So their idea is they want to take the more than 3,000 current Xbox One games and give you the ability to, as they put it, deploy and dramatically scale access across all devices on the Project xCloud system, including phones and tablets, with no work for the devs to do.
Yes.
So essentially, Forza Horizon 4, I could be playing it on my mobile. I could be playing it on my tablet. That's pretty awesome. On current 4G networks. I mean, that's the crux of all the information. I just gave it to you in one big
But
hit.
there is a full write-up on AussieGamersExpress.com.
Yes.
Because that was my other piece of news.
Yeah.
Wow. This isn't going to be a short.
week.
This is going to be a short weekend. We better come up with something. We might just come up with something on the fly.
We're just going to make shit up for the rest of the show.
Improvise. Let's improvise. We've never done that on the show before. We're going to create a whole new segment just called Improvisation.
Oh, no, should do like a true or not. Which one was right?
Alright.
So yeah, unfortunately, that's all my news. I do have another thing that I sort of came across while I was looking through and trying to find things for tonight. It's not really gaming news, but it's interesting nonetheless. And since it's such a slow week, I'll bring it up.
Yeah.
So we at Aussie Gamers have I'm going to start calling it a shoe watch. When shoemakers cross.
Oh God! All right, yeah.
Cross promote.
A shoe watch. What's a shoe watch? Okay.
To be fair, if we do this, we might get a cross promotion between a shoemaker and a watchmaker and make it a legit shoe watch. Anyway, so the cross promotion this time, we've seen Nike get together with both Xbox and PlayStation and come up with mixed results. Well, Adidas has cross promoted with Dragon Ball Z and made 7 limited edition sneakers based on different designs based around Dragon Ball Z. So it's interesting. I mean, they're essentially color themed, but they're really bright, vibrant Dragon Ball Z colors. So, you can imagine like the Goku shoes, probably bright orange with, goodness knows what color hair. It'll be yellow or blue or red or black, depending on what level Super Saiyan shoe you've got or whatever.
And before you can take them for a run, you've got to let them charge up for half an hour.
That's it. That's right. Before you go on your jog, you're committed to actually stand in your front yard just screaming for half an hour. And then when everyone finally comes out and watches you, then you can just go after half an hour and your voice is just about to peter out. You can then just go, "Gah!" and start running down your street.
Or better yet, power walk.
Or power walk. Yeah. So ridiculous, but that's something else I came across in the news today. So.
No worries. Well, another news piece that I've got is Borderlands 2 is coming to VR. Either of you guys play Borderlands? Or Borderlands 2?
I have played both Borderlands and Borderlands 2.
Mm-hmm. I've only played the Telltale one.
Right. Well, then, from Borderlands fans, you haven't played Borderlands.
Yeah, I'm well aware of that. I don't deny it.
Yeah.
I just wanted an easy platinum.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I think actually in one chapter of it, I actually fell asleep in my chair, and I woke up and it had finished.
He's like, wow.
Yeah.
And you went back through just to see what decisions you had made.
No, I just went, all right, next one.
You didn't even care about that.
No.
That would have been funny. I would have at least gone, I'm curious just to see what happened.
It was one of those scenes where,
the end.
by the
That's what I'm
time,
saying. Check at the end.
yeah, by the time I'd gotten to that stage, the the story was in this sort of really low, dull bit, and it just wasn't doing it for me. So I was like, well, I started it, so I should at least finish it. It was like a PS Plus game. I'll at least finish it. So I was playing through it and trying to get into it, and then just nodded off, and woke up at the end screen saying, do you want to start the next episode?
Excellent.
Anyway, sorry, Greg, what were you saying? I've just taken you off, haven't I?
Yeah, look, I've played them with varying success. I remember playing the first one, and it's probably the one I put the most amount of time into. But there was something about it I really couldn't get into.
Yeah.
I think it was, to be fair, I honestly think it's the loot system. Like and to be fair, the people that like the game love the loot system, like the 100 million guns. But I just found like it gives you so much so often that you're sort of left going, you never have time to get used to the weapon you're using before something comes along, like something replaces it. You're just constantly swapping out weapons to try and stay leveled up. That you just never get time to actually find a favorite gun, or I just find it overwhelming and just not very fun, really. I like getting to know my weapons, and I like finding a favorite and then holding it and cherishing it, and then ignoring all other weapons until a more powerful one comes along, and a version of the one I like comes along. It's do that. It's kind of what I like, but this game never lets you do that. You're just constantly like, it's. I look friends that love it, and they're constantly at me to go, Greg, come play Borderlands with us. Come play Borderlands with us. And I'm like, no, I'm not playing Borderlands with you. I'm not buying another version on Xbox One to play with you guys. No, that's not happening. But they're there to be. When I saw this news about VR, I put it up, and I told those guys, I'm like, hey, look, you can now do this, and they're like, ooh, that's pretty. And then they both literally just turned around after going, ooh, that's pretty, and went, yeah, no, we still want Borderlands 3 though. Like, fair enough.
Yeah. I think that's what most people would prefer.
Like, yeah, that's all right, but I prefer Borderlands 3. Now bring it out. Stop talking about it and bring it out. So,
Rem, anything else from you?
I got a couple of pieces.
All right, shoot.
One, kind of going off that same Witcher vibe. Bit of a controversial point that I thought you might be interested in, actually, Pat.
Mm-hmm.
So, we all know that we've had a casting for Geralt, but there's been word out now
that
for
Ciri
the role of
Yennefer have been casted. Yes.
Well, I hadn't heard that Ciri had been cast so much as the request for what kind of person they wanted to play Ciri.
Mm-hmm.
I believe the explanation of the ethnicity they wanted was Black Asian. I hope that's not offensive in the way I've said it, but
it's only offensive if you shorten it down to Blasian.
So there's a lot of people getting up in arms about it, and obviously this is a decision that is made for the point of diversity and encouraging diversity within film, and that's great. That's wonderful. But there's a lot of uproar about it as to the lore of Ciri, being that she is literally the whitest person in The Witcher.
Well, she's sort of Norse.
Well, yeah. That's where a lot of the uproar seems to be coming, is from the European areas, is that, this is a game and a story that has a lot of representation of them, and the fact that Ciri is being cast as anything other than who she is quite upsetting.
I've just dug up the because I did read it today and didn't really. I actually find I've got I've got the names of the two people who have been cast and photos of them, which okay. I'll try and put something together so that it's up and everyone can see. So as we know, Henry Cavill will play Geralt.
G'day everyone, editing Lucas. Jumping in for the first time in this episode, I just have to correct Snoogs on his pronunciation of Henry Cavill. It's not Cavill. Don't let it happen again. Back to the show.
Mm-hmm.
And Cavill's in, what, his 40s? Late 30s, 40s, I think?
That's Cavill. Second warning.
Yep.
So, my understanding would be that Yennefer would be an older lady. Like, not even older, sort of my age, or so that late 30s, sort of 40s age sort of person. Now, the people that they've... and being that, Yennefer kind of takes on a bit of a mother sort of role with Ciri as well. So I was sort of thinking that a lot of that was into it. Obviously, we don't know the timeline of where the Witcher TV series is going to take place. I'm just sort of going off, Witcher 3 and that sort of standing. Ciri was older teen, early 20s, and then you sort of extrapolate that out. Yennefer would be late 30s, and Geralt's 100 anyway.
Yeah.
But the people that they've put into the positions is Ciri is played by Freya Allen. Into the Badlands. I don't know if I don't know who these people are, so I've not seen Into the Badlands. And then Anya Chalotra will be taking the role of Yennefer. So it's two relatively unknown. The Ciri role, this is solely off the picture that I've got on a website, so I don't know anything about who this person is or what sort of role she's played or where she does it. Just visually, she would work perfectly for Ciri.
Yeah, I'm just looking at a picture now. She is. She is not at all like the casting requests that went out at all.
Exactly. But I think, just again, looking visually here, the person that they picked to play Yennefer, I think she's too young.
Yeah, she looks very young.
But again, it's a photo that we're seeing. We're not really seeing anything else, and especially like in this this article that I'm reading, it actually says Yennefer's a sorceress who acts as a mother figure to Ciri, and the main love interest of Geralt. So it's goods and bads, and I just can't wait to see it. Can't wait to see all those little leaks. Can't wait to see the trailers. Can't wait to hear about where it's going to be set and how it's going to be set. It's going to be good.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. I'm really hoping that this is going to be a good version. I don't want it to be disappointing. Yeah, that's good. Awesome. So that's awesome. We've just fixed the problem already.
Yeah, well, actually, looking down on this this article here, it's got word of series casting has been a point of contention for Witcher's fans when a rumour began swirling that the show was seeking to portray Ciri. The backlash on social media was so furious that the showrunner Hiss Rich ended up taking a break from Twitter.
Wow.
So
yep.
We all know how good keyboard warriors can get.
Oh yeah. All right. So my last piece that I had, there is a rumor circulating, rumor mill, that Obsidian, who is well known for their RPGs, Knights of the Old Republic, Fallout New Vegas, may be acquired by Microsoft.
Yes, I did hear this.
So obviously there's no confirmation from Microsoft at this point, but quote, people close to the area, people close to this happening, are saying it's probably about 90% of the way done. That Obsidian will move on with Microsoft, whether they'll be bought out or just acquired,
brought into the fold.
Is yet to be seen. But this will be interesting for Microsoft because
allowed to suckle on Phil's bosom.
Who wouldn't?
I was going to say a lot of people would want to.
Yeah.
He's such a happy-looking dude. Like,
I know,
he just,
right?
Like, he just looks so content all the time. So he'd be just like, just drinking that content.
So happy, happy place. Yeah, so this would be really interesting, considering how many studios Xbox has brought on, including Playground, Ninja Theory, all as we saw coming to the fold. This would be really interesting if they do allow them to keep making games. It would be really interesting to see how they fill that RPG slot and potentially some, what's the word I'm looking for? Some
new Star Wars games, yeah, please.
I was thinking exclusives, but yes, that too. For
Good
Xbox.
Fallout games.
Yeah, I mean, this could be really.
Actually, sorry, Fallout games.
Yeah.
Just Fallout
Yes.
games,
Yeah, just a Fallout game.
Yeah. So there was before the release of the Xbox One console, Obsidian was working on an Xbox exclusive RPG. The name was circulating as Stormlands. So it'd be interesting to see whether that sort of game might be picked up again if this does happen. Yeah. Thoughts?
I'm still holding true that was it Scalebound? Was
Yes.
that dragon one?
Yep, that's a good one.
I'm still holding true to my theory that that's going to pop up again soon.
You think so?
I think it was so ambitious and so far through that I don't know why they would just scrap it.
Yeah. I have a few suspicions as to why, and they made it pretty clear that there were a lot of delays and a lot of issues going on behind the scenes. But you're right; it was a gorgeous looking game, and it felt like it was coming.
Yeah, a lot of the issues with it though were because the Xbox One was underpowered and couldn't run it.
Yeah, which the X you would hope has fixed.
That's where my theory comes into account. Whether it come out as one that just will be optimised for the X, and if you want to play it on the original, you'll get 930 or something stupid like that, you know.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. We can always hope, anyway.
You can always hope, yeah. All right. Well, the last little bit of news I've got is it's a very much a shame that we're not making it to PAX this year.
I know.
But we've got some very talented people from Bethesda have been confirmed to be hitting up the show this time around, and top of the list is of course Pete Hines, Senior Vice President of Bethesda Softworks. Now I've met Pete. He actually comes across as a really cool bloke and someone that's really easy to talk to. So it was really great, and we were at the, I think it was the EB Expo a couple of years ago. We had like a special jump in and have a play with everything. And he was just walking through the crowd. Hey mate, how you going? And it was quite cool actually. I thought it was pretty good. So you got, so Pete, and then you've got Tim Willits, Studio Director for ID Software, and then Matt Furore, President and Game Director of ZeniMax Online Studios. So Tim looks after, of course, Doom, Rage 2, and also does some stuff for Quake and things like that. And Matt's actually Elder Scrolls Online.
Nice.
So
that's quite a lineup.
They're all having a bit of a chat and in different theatres throughout the weekend. So make sure heading over to AussieGamersExpress.com and check out the article over there with all the info. If you're heading down to PAX, take us a lot of photos.
Yeah. Make us jealous.
Make us all jealous. Make us
ask PAX why we're not there.
That's right. Why?
Just go. We listen to Aussie Gamers Express, and we thought they'd be here covering the event. Why aren't they?
Am I not pretty enough?
Oh well, that's it for video game discussion. We'll leave that one alone.
I'm expecting Lucas to go.
Am I too outspoken? Don't I make you laugh?
That bit will just trail out. The What's That Sound music will be over the top of it.
If I was mumbled just a moment ago, ask Lucas, why is Greg mumbling? We want to hear Grejio while he's talking. You know?
Yes. All right, guys. What's that sound? Last week's, I think we all got it here. Skrill got it in the chat. And I think a few people actually got it over on the page, but I haven't seen it yet, so my apologies.
I don't think I've got it yet.
You haven't got it yet?
I wasn't here.
What, and you didn't listen? Oh. Well, here it is. Here's
busy.
last week's sound. Tell us what you put. I better actually push the button so that it plays. Last week's sound, here you go.
That would be a rare Xbox achievement.
That would be a rare Xbox achievement. Well done!
Yay! Twice for me.
I don't think I've heard that very much.
You wouldn't. Too busy chasing those little shiny trophies of yours.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, that are worth 0.
Whereas for me, it's diamonds are a girl's best friend.
Brooms.
You know, when I get one of those, I still get a trophy as well. Comes up and it flashes up on the screen when that noise comes up.
Yeah.
You'd know that if you got them. So, just saying, get trophies here as well.
I'm going to go get the marshmallow as well. Roast people.
Being really passive aggressive tonight, aren't I?
Passive aggressive, or also known as being a.
Yes.
Fucking hell, Chris.
Who would have thunk it, hey?
I know. Look. Maybe we should listen to the new sound.
I think we should. Let's
calm me down a little bit.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see what this one is. Oh, here we go.
Nah, that's going to make you hot under the collar too. For a totally different reason.
I can honestly say, out of the three of us here, I've heard that more than everyone else. Probably more than both of you two guys put together.
I reckon you've heard that more than our entire listening base as well.
That is a possibility as well.
Good chance.
Although probably not.
There are a few. There are a few out there. Yeah. Like,
I don't know if you have heard it more because we turn it on and off. Yours just stays on.
Yeah. I find that you have to restart it. It doesn't like. Yeah.
Doesn't do it. Doesn't hold it down for long. All right. Well, those listening along at home, have a listen again. Let us know what it is. Where's this little mouse? There we go. So that's what's that sound for this week. If you guys know what it is, hit us up on our Discord or over on Facebook. Send us a direct message and let us know. I think Lucas is being a bit nice with the what's that sounds at the moment.
Yeah, no, he is.
I'm waiting for the random one, and I'll just have like a sound of him giggling away in the back of my head.
He's just lulling you into a false sense of security right now.
And he's like, "Oh, here you go." I'm terrible with what's that sounds. I always have been. And it's like, "Oh, I know these ones. This is fantastic." Whack!
Oh, I'm getting good.
Yeah. Starting to build up the confidence, and then bam, see you later. Alrighty, guys. Well, let's go on to last words.
Actually, before that, I told you I was going to come up with a random segment just because it's such a short show. I'm going to improvise.
Oh, okay.
So I've got bonus round called Grej's random video game fact. Alright. So I'm going to ask you some questions that are going to be random video game facts based around me.
Okay.
And you have to try and guess the answer.
All right. Let's see how we go.
Right. So, while I'm sitting recording this podcast, how many Xbox 360 games can I see?
Oh, shit. Xbox
As in
360 games.
On your console or on the bookshelf?
Yeah, I'm just thinking on the bookshelf. There's, 27 of them?
Well, there wouldn't be any Xbox. Well, no. I don't have my 360 games up on my console at the moment. I have the Forza Horizon 4 sitting on my screen at the moment. So,
Okay, so we're not looking at back compat. Alright.
No, we're not looking at physical 360 games that are just sitting around me that I can see.
Oh, okay.
7.
I'm going to guess 12.
Whoa. Well, you're both wrong, so that's good. It's 23 is the answer.
Oh,
23.
23.
You can see 23?
I can see 23. I counted them before.
All right.
Trust me, there's 23. Some of them, as just to keep on sort of flowing with it, one of them is the original Forza Horizon. There's Halo Reach. There's Fallout. There's a Brink. There's a Dirt. There's a couple of Call of Duties. And I think there's even a Borderlands Game of the Year edition.
There you go.
Talking about Borderlands before. So, there's just some of the games. I can even see Duke Nukem up there too. Anyway, right, my next question. What level has Greg reached on Forza Horizon 4?
Ooh.
Editing, Lucas here. I'm going to have a guess at, let me see, 103. How'd they go?
Oh,
Ooh, it's going to be high. It's going to be high.
143.
Wow. I wasn't going to say that high. I was going to say, I think last time I saw you at 90, so maybe 95?
Ooh. Well, you're both wrong.
Yeah.
If Pat took 40 off the score, he'd be right. It's 103.
Ah.
Nailed it.
Ah, it's closer.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Random gaming fact number 3. How many PlayStation 2s has Greg owned?
Oh, we should both know this.
How many? I think it was 3? Actually, no, you still got your original one, don't you? Because it's still the fat one. Go the 1.
We're talking. Wait. Ask the question again.
How many PlayStation 2s have I owned?
PlayStation 2s?
Yes.
2.
2. PS2.
Yes. 2.
Oh, you've said 2. Right.
Quantity 2.
All right.
Wow.
All right. Rem?
Yeah.
You're wrong.
Oh.
Patrick?
You owned another one I don't know about.
Nuke? You were right.
Oh, it
You're
was
wrong.
3. Yeah, okay.
It's been 3.
Been 3.
So, my original one, Yellow Light of Death.
Ah, that's right.
Actually, no. My first
your
one had an
PS4
eject problem.
PS3.
Yeah, it's PS3 Yellow Light of Death.
Yeah, sorry. No, my first PS2, it had an eject problem.
Mm-hmm.
So that went to cash converters and got traded in for money because they never check. I then took that money and bought my second one, which was the one I traded in for my PS3. And then when they came down to a stupid amount of price, and I was itching to play SSX Tricky, I went and bought one really cheap from EB Games.
Just for SSX Tricky and Black.
It was more SSX Tricky than anything else. And every now and then when, someone come around and go, hey, have you ever seen Manhunt? Come watch.
Come and play Manhunt.
Come play Manhunt. This is good. Yes. No, it's cool. I know you were in primary school, but come on, let's go.
Oh, jeez.
See, I'm trying to think of ones that Rem won't know straight off the bat to give you a chance. Snoogs. So
I'm not doing very well so far.
yeah, I know. See, I'm keeping it even.
I swear I didn't know about the eject problem. Oh well.
Yeah, no.
Can you ask an easy question like how many jelly beans?
What?
That's how this normally works. How many jelly beans in the jar?
Oh, right. Yeah, no, totally. Oh, okay. Well, you want to do that? That's okay. We can do that. Hang on. Give me 2 seconds. I've got a jelly bean question. It's another Forza Horizon question. All right.
What?
Yeah. No,
All
wait.
right.
You'll get it. All right. So, how much money? What is the bank balance that I have right this moment in Forza Horizon 4?
Jeez.
17 mil.
Whew. Yep. Try again. Well, Deb.
You fail.
You
Fair
wrong,
on the
bitch.
To be fair, I would love to have 70 million.
Yeah, right, okay.
That's just how much you've spent.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Well,
you're saying...
I can ask that question next.
Yeah, no. That's a lot higher. I wouldn't have thought it was that high, so I would go for 12.
No, I have $3,400,662
God, what are you spending your
in my
money
bank
on?
account.
Dude.
Well, I've won $9,442,912. So I've spent around $6 million already in this game.
What have you spent that on? Stuff?
Yeah.
What sort of
Cars.
stuff? My stuff? Now fuck off.
To be fair, I probably spent about $1 million on the first Forzathon challenge. That was stupid, trying to build different types of cars just to try and beat it. What's my total garage value? This is a big number. Go big.
Big number.
Yeah, 200 mil?
All right, not that big.
23.
I have 139 cars. What are my 139 cars worth? Can you add them all up?
23 mil.
23 mil. The nearest million. I'll give it to you then. Nearest million.
Yeah. Guess we're both well off again.
What did you guess, bro?
200.
Oh, you had 200. Yeah,
200
right. No, you're closer. It was 49,800,000. So
that's
I'll
fair.
say 50.
50 mil.
Yeah. Look, what is my most valuable car?
What is it, or what is it worth?
No. What is it?
Is
Is
it?
it?
Yep.
Isn't it one of the barn finds?
Yes.
Yeah. And it's not the Austin. Or
You're
Aston.
right. It's not the Austin
No. I mean,
or the Aston.
Yeah.
It's not either of those.
Not either of them.
It's definitely not the Holden.
That's the Tirana,
You're right.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Isn't it like this really sleek back thing?
It is.
What's
It is a
called?
very sleek back thing.
I've gone completely blank what it's called though.
I was going to say you're overthinking this because you know this car.
Do I?
Yep.
No, nothing. It's not the Hornet. No.
No. It is the Ford GT40.
Ah, of course it is.
Of course it is. Yeah, you both. Nah. All right. Let's think. What else can I think of? All right. How much time have I spent in game driving?
Too much.
Driving. Not as much as livery creation.
Actually, at this point in time, it's balanced the other way. I actually have more hours driving than I have livery creation at the moment.
You got to get those numbers up, sucker.
Yes, I do.
Good question.
68. Although that was probably the first week.
You guys are giving me way too much credit, or you just think that little of me.
I'm trying to think how long you've had the game for.
It's been 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yep, it's been 2 solid weeks.
It's probably more around the 30-odd hours, I'd say.
That's probably a better guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say 26. Why not?
26. Well, that's closer as well. It's actually 23 and a half hours. Driving. Yep. 51 of those minutes was spent in first place.
Gotta boost those numbers too, bro.
Yeah. Like, clearly, I haven't been doing a lot of racing. I've been doing a whole bunch of other stuff. Like Spartan clients and I got all the fast travel boards and
roads.
Last one.
Last one.
This has turned into Greg's Forza Horizon stats.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Less about gaming and more about Forza Horizon.
Grejio's Forza Horizon gloat. Yep.
Let's go with that. I don't care. All right, so last one. What is my highest top speed in this game?
The GT40 does 400 apparently.
I would say apparently as well because I haven't driven it yet.
Okay.
So it's not that.
Well, I know you've done over 300 because you clocked the first Forzathon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you remember what your speed trap was that I then proceeded to beat 30 seconds after you'd done it?
Yeah. 328.
All right. Now I know you've forgotten because I think the speed trap that I did it through that you beat was 330.
Was it?
When you beat it.
Oh, okay.
So you had to be doing more than 330, so it's definitely not 328.
Yeah.
I was gonna say 336 or something.
All right, I'll give you a clue. It's well above 400 k's an hour.
Oh, is it?
But not in the Ford GT.
No.
Okay.
No,
420?
if the Ford GT only does 400 k's an hour, I'm going to stick with the car I was in. It's faster.
I'm assuming this is like the Agera or something.
Yeah, it would be the Agera, I'm pretty sure.
425?
425. Do we have a bet for Mr. Snoogs?
447.
Oh, you know what? I almost give you a point for that. It's 450.
Hey!
Whoa.
That's pretty close. I'll let you have that. My average speed for the game so far is 105 kilometers an hour.
That's a good average.
That is a good average. I like that average. That's good numbers right there.
Yeah, my average speed for work is 43.
Yeah.
Gotta love sitting traffic.
That you do.
All right. Well, that's a nice little quick.
That was Fun Gaming Facts with Grejio. I've changed the name already.
3 times. Which one will it be?
This is like Sacrifice Blade. I'll never remember the name of this. I'll just keep making up a new one.
Just make a new one every time.
Editing, Lucas here. Well, Grejio, I've already made the intro that you suggested first off, so we're sticking with that one. All right? Got it? Back to you guys.
Yeah. This will learn us for having a slow news week.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's been a good one then. Well, then, on to last words. Alright, guys, who the f said that? Nothing is true, everything is permitted. Now, you guys had a story to go along with this? It's been said by a few people?
Yes, it has been said by quite a lot of people.
So the original, I think, is old man cut your finger off, dude.
This is another Hellblade.
Totally. I don't remember his name. I just remember he had a beard. He looked like Osama bin Laden, and he chopped your finger off. No, he did. I'm sorry, he did. I'm not apologizing for that. Those people that haven't seen this dude, they're going to go, what's this? Grejio, I don't know what he looks like. Describe him. And I just go, Osama bin Laden.
Wow.
Done. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying.
So, who you meant to say was Altair bin Lahad.
Okay.
Was his name Altair as well?
Altair. The first assassin was Altair.
Yeah.
And then there was...
I thought his mentor said it.
Editing, Lucas here. Now, I have done a little bit of a Google search and found, I think that the guy that Greg is talking about is Al Mualim. I've done a little bit of a search and found a picture of who I think you're talking about. If it's not right, well, we'll have a conversation about it in the Discord channel in the podcast chat. I'll put a photo in there of the character that we're talking about, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Greg. Anyway, back to you guys.
Okay.
Well, they all do, actually. A lot of them do.
Do they? Well, yeah, I've got it as Ezio Auditore.
He's probably the most well-known.
Yeah.
Yes.
From Assassin's Creed 2. That's what I've got for who the f*** said that. Alright, guys. One other last words from me. Last week we talked about the Bathurst Quick Lap Challenge. One person jumped on and had a bit of a crack at it and showed us the fast time. So a bit of a shout out to Panda King. In GT3 did a 2 minute 2:00.1 something second.
Nice.
Yeah, lap around
Well done.
Mount Panorama in a Nissan GTR. So well done, mate. Nice and quick. The quickest I got was down to a 2:06.
I only did a couple laps in a V8 supercar, and I only got it down to 2:17.
Yeah.
But I was pretty rusty. I even did it. I went back into Motorsport 6, which I haven't played in ages, right? And when I was looking through my cars, I remembered I have HSV. But see, all the newer ones that I've played of recent, all the Forzas have all got the Gen F HSVs.
Yeah.
I realized it has the E3 HSVs. So I've got a GDS that looks like my Club Sport. And I was like, oh, this was the car. Because I didn't buy my Club Sport until after I finished playing 6. But I remember painting it up going, this is how I'd have my E3 Club Sport if I ever got one. Because at that point in time, I was kind of thinking about it, but it kind of just went, it probably won't happen. And then I jumped in and went, oh my goodness. So I painted up to look like my car, and then I drove around Bathurst and did like a 2 minute something or other in it, 2:30, which I was like, I wish I could do that in real life. That'd be...
Yeah.
Except the Rozzers would be on top of me.
Yes. I did the same in Forza Horizon 4 with my Mustang.
Mm.
It's done up to look like my Mustang would be once I get it.
Yep. Yeah.
Once the wife lets me get it.
It'll happen one day.
One day. Yeah.
One day.
Forgiveness is easier than permission.
Yeah. Maybe sometimes, but not when you're spending that much money.
Yeah, probably not.
That's divorce material right there, my friend.
Nah, still get the car.
I have some last words.
What's yours, mate?
So, it was at this point last week that I mentioned that Luke went and saw Venom, and then he slid in his review, and I heard it, and I was like, I was surprised because the movie's getting panned pretty hard.
It's getting belted, isn't it?
Like, it's getting belted left, right, and center. So when Luke came out and said, all these nice things about it, I was like, who do I believe? Do I believe Luke, the Aussie gamer, or do I believe every other critic that is literally just putting this thing through the ringer? Like, I even listened to one today. There was a person who's generally pretty easygoing on the scores, and she gave it a 1. I'm like, ooh, that's brutal. So a 1 out of 5, that's nuts. Anyway, I get to my point. While I was listening to it, he's talking about having a black thing up his ass. Was I the only one that say that? In my head, go, looking mighty good in those jeans, boy.
I missed that altogether.
Yes.
Maybe Luke can edit the actual sound file in, so it's not a shit version of me saying it. But like the Eddie Murphy, Mr. T.
I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Get over here.
Get over here. Look mighty good in them jeans, boy.
This nightmare that I go to Hollywood and find out that Mr. T is a really, and he be walking up to people going, hey boy, You look mighty cute in them jeans. And me up the ass. I'm gonna bend over now.
So I'm guessing that's the way Venom gets in, is it? Symbiote gets in him.
I'm guessing so. Overall,
Yeah.
he shows himself as like a symbiote Mr. T in, bib and brace overalls, mohawk, and feather earrings. And
Yeah, it doesn't even buy Eddie a drink. Yeah, okay.
no. And it's Eddie, isn't it? So,
Yeah.
It's Eddie Murphy. It's
Eddie Murphy, Eddie Brock.
the illusions just keep going.
Wow.
Slow down, boy. I am all shades of wrong this week.
You are, aren't you? Rem.
I mean, how do I follow that up?
I don't know.
Carefully, gently.
Apologetically, I don't know.
I do sincerely apologise to everyone. But I'm gonna go play Odyssey now.
I'm going to go and watch Raw.
Yeah.
I think you guys have watched it too much.
Yeah, I could probably spout it word for word. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, well, Greg, your code phrase that we're working up to, or your code word to go along with the thing.
The theme. So this week's clue. I'll give you this week's clue, and then I'll give you the code word. So this week's clue is Guybrush Threepwood, Monkey Island.
Yeah, awesome.
So this week's code word is monkey.
Monkey.
Can we have a recap of the code words?
Master.
So had Master from Master Chief from Halo, and Mario, as in Super Mario, and now this week's code word is monkey. So it's less. Don't necessarily put the code words together. It's the clues. I really have to iterate that. So the clues aren't Master, Mario, and Monkey. Those are the code words. The clues are Master Chief, Mario, and Guybrush Threepwood. Those three characters. There's a theme to them.
Mm-hmm.
All voiced by the same person.
Nolan North, damn it! No.
Bloody hell, he's everywhere.
He did a really good job with Mario.
All right, guys. Yes, well, code word. Put it anywhere. Like we said last week, it'd be really cool if someone chucked it somewhere on like Podbean or iTunes or Stitcher or TuneIn or any of those sorts of ones, just to do something different. But anywhere that you see us, YouTube, Facebook, Discord, Twitter, whatever, hit us up with, what was the code word again?
Monkey.
Monkey.
Do the monkey with me.
Man, I'm pretty. All right. Well, if that's it, guys, have you got anything else left to say?
No, I'm good.
All good?
You smell kind of pretty. Want to smell me? You look pretty. I look pretty. Let's go back to my place and stare at each other. I'm a karate master. Want to see my moves?
Yeah, we watched too much of that too.
Yep.
Just a little.
All right, everyone. Thank you to everyone that's listened to the show, and especially those that are still listening this far along, because once again we have fallen into a rabbling heap. Thanks to you guys, Rem and Gretch, for all the hard work and everything you're doing. To all of our listeners, feel free to continue any of the topics that we discussed on the show on our Facebook page or Discord channel. Links are in the podcast show notes and description. That's all from me this week. As always, I'm Snoogs.
I'm Remutha.
And I'm Johnny. Who? Whatever. I'm Grejio. That's who I am. I got lost
sure?
there.
Yeah.
Identity crisis.
Yeah. I don't have enough hair on the top of my head to be Johnny Bro.
Well, here we are once again at the end of this week's show. If you're still hungry for more video game content, then head over to the Aussie Gamers Express Facebook page and give us a like. We also have a heavy presence over on Twitter and YouTube, and their links are waiting for you in the podcast description. This podcast is available for your convenience through Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, and more. Thanks again for listening. Catch you all on the next episode of the Aussie Gamers Express Video Game Podcast.